In today's class, we are going to discuss about chapter number 4, that is Animal Kingdom. So let's start the discussion. First thing that we need to know that what is animals. Animals are multicellular, means their body is made up of more than one cell, and they are heterotrophic organisms. That means they cannot produce their food in their body. So these organisms, they are basically without cell wall. That means cell wall is not present in cell, and without chlorophyll. So as they do not have any chlorophyll, so they cannot make their food by their own, so they depend on the food of others. Now all the animals that are present in the world, they are divided into 11 major phyla, and these phylums are Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. These 11 phylums are for all the animals that are present in the world. Now let's discuss in details of this phyla. So before going to discuss details of this phyla, first thing we need to know that why and how these animals are classified into these 11 major phyla. What is the basis of classification? So now we discuss about the basis of classification of the animals. For classifying all the animals, some certain criteria is needed, and these certain criteria are level of organization, body symmetry, germinal or embryonic layer, coelom, metamerism, and notochord. So all the animals are classified on the basis of these 6 criteria. In first thing, level of organization. According to this level of organization, animals are classified into 4 groups. First one is cellular level of organization, second is tissue level of organization, third organ level of organization, and fourth organ system level of organization. Let's talk about details of this. In cellular level of organization, all the cells that are present in the animal body, these cells are arranged as a loose cell aggregate. That means each and every cell, they perform their function. This type of arrangement can be found in most primitive types of animals. Here example is the Porifera. So Porifera is the most primitive types of organism or animals. So in this case, all the cells that are present in Porifera, they are loosely arranged or loosely aggregate. Next level is tissue level of organization. Here the cells that are present in the organism, they form a tissue, and this tissue, they perform their specific function. So in this case, cells are arranged into tissues, and this tissue perform their specific function. This type of organization can be found in Cnidarians and Ctenophorans. Next level is organ level of organization. Here the tissue are arranged into organ. More than one tissue, they make a specific organ, and this organ is perform their specific function. This type of organization can be found in higher level of animals. Here higher level means from Platyhelminthes to chordates, all the animals are considered as the higher level of organization. Next classification is organ system level of organization. More than one organ, they form a system, that is called organ system, and each system, they perform their specific physiological function. This type of organization also found in higher level of animals. Here different systems can be present in those animals. Now if different types of systems can be present in animal, and if the animals are higher level of organisms, then these different systems of or organ system, they may show different types of complexities. Such like if we consider about the digestive system, Then digestive system has two types of complexities. It can be incomplete digestive system, where if the digestive system is incomplete, then only a single opening can be found in those of organisms. Here this single opening act as both mouth and anus. So all the food eating and excretion they perform through this single opening. This type of complexity can be found in cnidarians and platyhelminthes. In this diagram, the hydra they also have a single opening that is located here. This single opening is performed for both mouth and anus. And in some case the digestive system is complete. If the system is complete, then two different opening can be found in this system. One is mouth, from where animal take their food, and one is anus, from where animal excrete. They expel out their waste material that is produced after the digestion of the food. This also one type of complexity. If we consider about the circulatory system, then we can see that two types of circulatory system can be found. One is open type circulatory system, where the fluid, that means the transportation fluid, rather blood, it comes out from the vessel and it directly reach to the cell. That means the cell of the body they directly bathed into the blood. This type of system are open type of circulatory system. And in case of human being, we see that blood they passes through a pipe system, that means through a artery, vein or capillary, and blood never comes out from this artery, vein or capillary. So this type of circulatory system is called closed circulatory system. Now next is symmetry. Now first thing, what is symmetry? Symmetry is the arrangement of similar body parts on two sides of main axis of the body. In this diagram, if we see that the red dotted line, this is the main axis of the body, and we get similar body parts from this side and this side. In both sides we get similar body parts. This type of arrangement is called symmetry. So based on symmetry, animals can be of two types. One is asymmetrical, where body cannot be divided into two similar parts. In case of most poriferians and snails, this type of symmetry can be found, where the body cannot be divided into two similar parts. If we consider about this diagram, then if we consider this red dotted line is the axis, then in left side and right side, these two sides are not similar, so they are called asymmetric type of organism. Another types of is symmetrical, where body can be divided into two similar parts. In this diagram where man is drawn, then the red dotted line is the main axis, and here two similar part, that is left side and right side, both can be present. Next thing is, in case of symmetrical, you can find two types of symmetry. One is radial symmetry and another is bilateral symmetry. In case of radial symmetry, body can be divided into two equal halves by any vertical plane along the central axis. If we consider about this diagram and this diagram, here the plane that goes through the vertical axis, and always it goes through the central axis. So this type of symmetry is called radial symmetry, and this symmetry can be found in poriferians, cnidarians, ctenophorans and echinoderms adult condition, because in case of in normal condition echinoderms are not radially symmetrical. Second is bilateral symmetry. Here body can be divided into right and left halves in only one plane. One plane means it is not any vertical plane, only a single plane. If we divided the organism in only a single plane, then we can get on the right side and left side. This type of symmetry can be found in platyhelminth to chordata. That means all higher level of animals except the adult echinoderms, because in adult echinoderms we get radial symmetry. Here in these two diagram we can see also same thing, that radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. The body that show a bilateral symmetry, this body has different types of side. One is it can dorsal side, it also has ventral side. If we divide the organism into left and right, then we have left side and right side, which is called lateral side. We get anterior side and posterior side. In this diagram it is different types of sides are clearly mentioned. So this organism is bilaterally symmetrical. All the sides can be present in these types of organisms. Now next thing is, organisms can be found into on the basis of germinal layers. Now what is germinal layers? Germinal layers are layers of embryo from which all the body organs are formed. So based on that, organisms can be divided into two types. One is diploblastic, another is triploblastic. In case of diploblastic, two germ layers are present. In these two germ layers, the outer layer is called ectoderm and the inner layer is called endoderm. And in between ectoderm and endoderm, there is an undifferentiated jelly-like layer which is called mesoglia. So mesoglia is not complete middle part of this ectoderm and endoderm, rather this is undifferentiated, so they are termed as mesoglia. This type of diploblastic can be found in the animals of Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Another type is triploblastic. In this case of triploblastic, three prominent germ layers are present. Outer portion is ectoderm, middle layer is mesoderm and inner layer is endoderm. So here the middle part, that is the space between the ectoderm and endoderm, is fully differentiated and they termed as mesoderm. From platyhelminth to chordata means all the higher level of organisms can be found in these triploblastic animals. Next one is another criteria on which animals are classified. They are coelom. Coelom means body cavity. This coelom or body cavity is lined by mesoderm, and this space are actually seen between the body wall and the gut wall. So the space that is present in body wall and gut wall, this space is called body cavity or coelom. Then what is the function of coelom? Coelom separates the muscle of gut and body wall. These two parts are separated by coelom. So based on the nature of coelom, animals are of three types. One is acoelomate, where true coelom is not present. One is pseudocoelomate, it looks like coelom, and one is coelomate, where true coelom is present. If we discuss about the acoelomate, then no coelom can be found in these types of organisms. The space that is between the body wall and the digestive cavity is filled with matrix, and this matrix is basically made up of parenchyma type of cell. Here Porifera to platyhelminth, all the organisms, that is Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora and platyhelminths. These four types of organisms are grouped under acoelomate. In that case, true coelom is not present. Second division is pseudocoelomate. Pseudocoelomate is actually false coelom. It looks like coelom, but it not is actually a coelom. So in this case, the body cavity is not lined by any mesoderm. Rather, what happened? Mesoderm is scattered like a pouches. This type of coelom can be found in ash helminth. It is also one type of helminth. And the last one is coelomate. Coelomate is true coelom. Proper coelom is present. And this coelom arises from the mesoderm, and this coelom is lined by peritoneal layer and filled with coelomic fluid. So proper coelom is present. So from Annelida to Chordata, all the groups of organisms, that means Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata, these types of organisms, they show this type of division. Here also in this diagram, coelomate, acoelomate and pseudocoelomate, these organisms are clearly described here. Now let's talk about what is the actual function of the coelom. Coelom is accommodates visceral organs. This is one type of function. Second, the coelomic fluid, they reduces the friction between the visceral organs. This is another function of coelom, and this is also an important function. As they reduces the friction, so they definitely act as a shock absorber. This coelomic fluid, it actually act as a shock absorber inside the body. Next criteria, that is metamerism. Now what is metamerism? Metamerism is a phenomenon where the body or organ is externally and internally divided into repeated segments, and these repeated segments are called metameres. As metameres are present, so this phenomenon is termed as metamerism. This type of classification or this type of criteria, this character can be found in Annelida, that's specially found in earthworm and arthropod. These are the metamerism or segmentation. In earthworm or in arthropod, different types of segmentation can be found, and this segmentation is based on metamerism. And the last criteria for the classification of animal, they are the presence of notochord. Now notochord is actually mesodermally derived supporting rod. This rod is formed on the dorsal side during the embryonic development in some animals. In some animals means those animals which have notochord, they are called chordate, and those animals they are without notochord, they are called non-chordates. So according to the presence or the absence of notochord, animals can be classified into either chordate or non-chordate.